Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Study with Me series. So this video is gonna be about showing some AI tools and how I learn faster with AI tools, and also I'm gonna introduce a new AI tools which gonna help you a lot, not only study but also on like in like one pretty much everything. So if you actually want to learn faster, so nowadays you should use AI tools. So in this video, I'm gonna use some AI tools. As you guys know, ChatGPT and then Gemini and the Keep. I think if you don't hear about this platform, so this platform is very similar to ChatGPT and also Claude. And the new AI tools I'm gonna talk about later on, that's called sidebar.ai. It's very helpful. But today I'm gonna learn a DSA, again data structure and algorithm. Okay, so guys, the first AI tools which is very helpful for now is called Cider.ai. So if you install as a extension on any your laptop or okay, so that extension can access your desktop or any site. Okay, so let's say I'm watching YouTube, so this site cider access the video automatically. Okay, so then I just prompt it, hey, just summarize this video. So guys, you can see the whole data that he just that these tools just highlight the entire video. So as I told you, and you can also expand some other highlight things like this. Guys, see how cool it is, right? Not only like, yeah, you can access anything, maybe your PDF, maybe even your short video, your text, or your any desktop things or slide. You can access, even you can translate, you can like summarize this page, not this page, any page. So that extension can uh, you know detect. So it's very helpful. Yeah, so this video is all about reading things out. So so previous two series was all about explaining things a smaller part, but this video is all about I just want to read out, because that help us not only focusing concept but also you can explain very well. So it's help you to prepare yourself as a like you can crack interview very easily. Okay, so not only you can grab that concept, but if somebody asks you, hey, what it is, so you can explain it very easily. That's why I observe this pattern. And nowadays you don't need to read a books, because now I think watching video and then play with AI tools, you can learn faster. Okay, but when it comes to like when it comes to understand the topic and then explain, so if you read out, so your brain can replicate. So the more you replicate, the deeper you can understand and the longer you can remember, right? That's why I'm gonna read out every word. Okay, so but I create some tab. I open up multiple tabs, so you can see it's a Queen, then Google Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude. But mostly I'm gonna use ChatGPT and Qn and Gemini, because Qn, Gemini, and ChatGPT you can chat unlimited. But if I talk about Claude or maybe DeepSeek or maybe Grok, there is a paid version. So if you are a free users, so this three platform is very helpful. Okay, so on this QN, I just select 10-minute portion. If you don't watch my previous series, Okay, so but for you, just I'm saying it is that, like, I just grab it. How? Let me close it. So if you don't know how to grab that in a transcript, so you can grab here. So there is a button called show transcript. So if you click on it, you can see the transcript. Okay, so make sure you can copy 10 minutes. Okay, so if you copy more than 10 minutes, so I think ChatGPT and other platform don't allow you to paste it, because there are some limit. Okay, so my previous two video was about past 14 minutes. Okay, so I explain all the things, like how I use, how I learn each topic or each segment. But in this video, I'm gonna just read out word by word in different way. Let's see how can I read out. So I grabbed 10 minutes, so I already did it. And now, yeah, even and now I just open up the ChatGPT tab. So there is a prompt. Okay, so I transcript 10 minutes, and I just this is my prompt here. The prompt is very simple. Now I want you to add new word or explanation on this above text, and do not remove anything, so that it remain the same, the dialogue or the structure, the way video is explained. And you can remove little bit to fulfill my request what's from existing one. But if a speaker talk about extra things, such as what video will cover, remove that segment from this one, because I want my, so this is my prompt, right? So this way, this prompt and this text, it's not like what that speaker explained. So this is another one. So that's why I want to read out. And here is similar word which is explained by that video. And you can see Gemini also, you can get new things. Yeah, so this is my ChatGPT. So first is, what is an array, right? This is the main concept. If you want to understand the DSA, you have to know what is an array. But before explaining anything, I want to show you my project, because this is the real thing. Because why we are learning, this is a question. If you don't know why you're learning, then maybe you are going to be quit very easily. First of all, you have to make sure what's your motive. So my motive is very simple. This is my platform. It's a audio streaming platform, which means it's a data driven platform. So if the more people consume my platform, the more data I can generate. So that's why if you look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, so they generate billions of data. So once you have a large amount of data, then you have to structure. If you don't structure, then you can't, yeah. So there are four elements. The one is search, delete, and insert, right, and access, accessing. So that's why you have to structure. And then when it comes to algorithm, that means you can suggest based on their preference or personalized. So now I'm not, so this video I'm not going to talk about algorithm, but I'm going to talk about the data structure. So if you like to know how can I learn faster with help of AI, so stick with this series. You can understand all the things in more details. So that the things you have to figure out, what's your motive, what's your goal. If you have a strong goal, so you can learn anything faster. And yeah, so this is the first things we have to know. What is an array? So there is a text on Gemini. So Gemini explained this way, and actually this text from that segment, I copy 10 minutes. So based on that, Gemini explain. And there is a ChatGPT. So let's read out what ChatGPT says. Okay, heritage. So the array is like one of the first data structure most developer come across. Okay, it's straightforward, but if you really want to become a master of system thinking and algorithm design, you need to understand arrays, not just as a surface level, but in depth. That includes how you work behind the scenes, and that includes how they work behind the scenes, how they manage memory, and how they perform in terms of time complexity, and how you interact with them. So let's break it down. An array is fundamentally a collection, a list of similar values grouped together in a simple memory block. Why is that important? Because when you talk about storing and organizing data, grouping similar data types together is not just about neatness, it's about efficiency and performance. So, as I told you about my real project, right? Once you have more data, so you have to sort it out, because I have this content, so I can search. Let's say I can search, let's say millionaire. Okay, so you can see that for audios. But if you have similar title, billions data, let's say YouTube or Facebook, so how you can sort it? That's why you have to structure. That the definition a definition is try to say. So then just continue. We don't just want to store information. We want to store it in a way that optimized for retrieval. That means we can getting it, and traversal and manipulation. So traversal means you can go through. You can I'll show you the real things. So that means so this platform is not about traversal, but as I told you, you can delete it. Like if I okay, I think it takes times. Okay, so you can edit, you can delete like this, right? So that the definition is all about. And yeah, and manipulation in the sense you can do all the four things. And yeah, then the second para is array can store almost anything: username, high score, sensor data, product price, you name it, as long as the value are all of the same data type. That's one of the defining rules of an array, called homogeneity. Every element in an array must be of the same type: integers, string, booleans, object, float, whatever the case may be. The data type you choose will depend on entirely on the context of the problem you are solving, right? So in my case, as I told you, I'm just creating a audio streaming platform. So my ultimate goal is that the end user, maybe you, maybe other people, they can get the video that they can consume, they can listen to. And the second part, if they want to delete, let's say I'm a creator, so if I want to delete, so I can delete easily. If I want to upload, I can upload easily, right? So that is the definition is all about. That is the definition is saying, try to say. I think you can get it, right? And the next line is, now every individual item stored inside the array is referred to as an element. Collectively, these elements form what we call the array. You will hear that terminology repeatedly as we explore more complex data structure too. Arrays also come with three core attributes: their name, their type, their size, right? So let me explain you on Gemini. So I think Gemini explain in different way. So attributes of an array. Guys, you can see me, right? How can I understand each topic? So I know ChatGPT explained this way, but Gemini explained this way, and Gemini is structured this way. So yeah, I'm just using two platforms, but I'm also using other platform, right? So you can use. Otherwise, right? So let's read out what Gemini says. So as I told you, there are three type attribute yeah. So every array has three essential attributes called name, type, a size. So it, so first let's see what array name is. The name of an array is simply a unique identifier used to reference and interact with it. Imagine you have an array called names containing a list of company employees and another array called salaries holding their corresponding salaries. If you wanted to search through the salary information, you would reference the salary array by its name. This tells the computer precisely which specific array you want to work with, right? So I'll just go through Claude. I think Claude, no, not Claude, where the data is. I think, oh, I think Gemini, okay, or whatever it is. Yeah, so yeah, so let's redo it from Gemini. So we complete this para. Now let's issue to this para. So it's also worth nothing that these two arrays, name and salaries, are an example of parallel arrays. Parallel arrays are two or more arrays that have the same number of elements, which where each element in 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 one array is directly related to the element at the same position in the other array. So if John Smith is the first element in your names array and 10,000 is the first element in the salaries array, it means John Smith earned 10,000. This is particularly useful because as you will soon learn, arrays typically cannot store different data type within the same structure. Parallel arrays provide an elegant solution for storing diverse data about the same entity. So I recommend you can watch this video. If you watch this video, so it help you because a lot of visualization is there, and my source is this video. Okay, so I recommend you just watch this video and then read out, then understand. So how can I learn, right? Otherwise, so actually this is my approach. I watch video. If I learn anything new, so first of all, what I do, I watch maybe one time, two times, three times. If the topic is very unknown for me, it's very first time, so at least I watch two times, and then I use all the AI tools like this way. So the first attribute is name. Second attribute is type, and an array's type defines the kind of information that is or will be stored within it. A crucial stipulation for arrays is that all elements must be of the same type. You cannot have an array containing both integers and string. It must be exclusively an array of integers or an array of a string. This rule applies to any data type you choose to store. Every element or slot within the array must adhere to this single type. This is the second attribute. Third attribute is size. The third and final attribute of an array is its size. This is a fixed integer value determined at the moment the array is created. It represents the total number of elements that the array can hold. It's incredibly important to remember an array size cannot be changed once it's created by conventional method. Once you write the code to uh, instantiate an array, you You either specify its size or populate it with the element until it implicitly has a defined size. From that point on, its capacity is set. So this fixed size might seem counterintuitive or limiting, as it's quite rare among data structure. However, as we delve into array efficiency later, you will see that these characteristics are very specific and beneficial purpose. It's not just there to complicate things for programmers. So these are the three core attributes of an array: a name to reference it, a type to fill it with, and a size to control its capacity. This is the three attribute. I think you can understand it, right? So, in the next topic, defining and interacting with array. So this way, Gemini explained. Let's see about ChatGPT. So, how ChatGPT, provide the example this way. Integers like this, three of the here filling automatically, right? So this is the array. So now we can talk about the second portion, like 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So with help of Cider, what 30 minutes is all about. So 30 to 40 is like indexes in array start at 0, which is crucial for accessing element correctly, right? And also you can see the uh, entire summary, right? But I've already pasted in ChatGPT, so let's see what ChatGPT says. Now that we understand the two different ways to instantiate an array, the next step is figuring out how we, as a developer, actually interact with that array, especially how we retrieve and modify the values stored inside it. And the simplest, most powerful way to do that is through an index. An index is just an integer, nothing more, nothing less. But what makes it powerful is that it points to a specific position in the array. And here is something you absolutely must know: array indexes start at 0, not 1. So in an array of 10 elements, the first element is at index 0, the second at 1, and the last at index 9. It might feel counterintuitive at first, especially coming from non-programming context where you count from 1. But trust me, it becomes second nature. Let's break it down with an example. Suppose we have an array called numbers, which contain integers from 1 through 10. Now let's say we want to print out the number 6. Since arrays are 0 index, the number 6 is located at the 5th index. So I would write number 5, like numbers square bracket 5, that tells the computer, hey, go to the array named number and return the value stored at index 5, and that value happens to be 6. But here where mistake happen often. If you try to access index 10 in an array of size 10, you will get an out of bounds error. That works that because the last valid index is 9, not 10. So being mindful of index limit is key when working with arrays. Now, just like we can read element using their index, we can also modify them. Let's say we want to change the last element in the number array from 10 to 11. All you do is write number 10 is equal to 11 on numbers square inside square bracket 9 is equal to 10, that tells the machine, hey, go to the index 9, replace whatever the value is there with 11. This is how we upload array data in real time. So now let's level up and talk about multi-dimensional array. But before going further, let's see what Gemini says. And well, this is the second in like accessing array element with indexes. I think same things. I think we don't need to read it out, right? So yeah, so let's start, like let's continue with ChatGPT. Okay. Now we can start from here. So multi-dimensional arrays. Before we delve into the time complexity of an array operation, let's discuss the concept of an arrays within an array, especially two-dimensional arrays. Think of two-dimensional array as a matrix or a table. It's similar to regular array, but instead of each element holding a primitive data type like an integer, each element itself holds another entire array, complete with its own size and indexes. Two-dimensional arrays are incredibly useful for uh, representing data that naturally fit a grid-like structure. Example including programming a chessboard, a bingo board, or even an image where each element in two-dimensional array contains an RGB value, which collectively form the image. Right? So accessing an element within a two-dimensional array is much like the with one-dimensional arrays, but you know need two indexes. The first index typically represent the column, and the second index represents the row. By combining these two index number, we can precisely pinpoint and retrieve a single element within the two-dimensional array. For instance, let's imagine two-dimensional array containing 6 names arranged in four rows and 4 columns. So to access the name called Carl, you would first identify the column containing Carl. If Carl is in the third column, the correspond to the second index, remembering zero-based indexing. Next, you would identify the row containing Carl. If Carl is in the third row, this also correspond to second. Combining this, Carl would be at index location. In square 2 square 2, right? So yeah, this is example. And yeah, and yes, we can go beyond two dimension, like you can have 3 dimension, four 3D array, 4D array, and more. For example, for complex data like simulation, layered graphics, or scientific computation. But for most practical software development needs two arrays cover a lot of ground. Let's shift gears. It's time to access the efficiency of arrays using big O notation. This is where we evaluate the how fast and scalable arrays are based on 4 fundamental operations: accessing, searching, inserting, and deleting. As I told you, this is a 4 operation, a fundamental operation on any data. So this is a real project. As I told you, I can delete. Okay, I can search. Right. So and I can. Oh my God! I think I can upload. So that's the 4 things you can do with it. Right. So that is the line is all about. First, accessing an element is an array is lightning fast. It takes big O of n time, constant time, regardless of the size of the array, whether the array has 10 times or 10 million. Accessing index 5 will always take the same amount of time. Why? Because arrays are stored in contiguous memory blocks, which allows the system to calculate the location of any element using simple arithmetic. That is base address plus, oh my god, base address plus index multiply size of each element. Let's imagine a chunk of memory. The, the array start the array start at a certain address, say position 1000. If each integer takes up 4 bytes of space, then element and index 1 lives at memory location 1004, index 2 at 1008, and so on. This arithmetic model is why accessing array element is so fast and why array size must be fixed, because everything must be packed side by side in memory. You can't just stretch the array once it's created. So if you try to expand it beyond its original size, you would risk overlapping memory or scattering the array's contents across non-contiguous memory locations. That would destroy the efficiency of the direct access. So that's the price of performance, but it's worth it. Arrays give you a predictable speed and hardware level efficiency when it comes to accessing element. Now let's talk about searching. So searching for an element in an array typically takes big O n time. Why? Because most arrays are unsorted. That means you can't jump to the element you want. You have to go one by one, checking each element until you find what you are looking for. This is called a linear search. Alright, this is called a linear search. And yes, if your array is sorted, you could use a binary search for faster performance. But in general purpose, use case, we assume the worst case, and that's where big O notation comes in. If the item you are looking for is the last one in the array, you will have to traverse all n elements. So searching each big O of n. Now, what about insertion? What about insertion? Insertion, like inserting into an array, especially in a middle or beginning, is on. Let's say you have 5 elements and want to insert a new one at index 0. You can't just drop it in, right? You first need to shift every existing element on position to the right to make space. That's an operation. And if your array is full and its size is fixed, well, you are out of luck. You will have to create a new larger array and copy everything over. That's why arrays aren't always ideal for a dynamic dataset. And let's talk about deletion. Okay, so deletion works the same way. Let's say you want to remove the element at index 2, everything after that must shift left by one space to fill the gap. So again, that's an ON notation. Here's the takeaway. So accessing, it's a blazing fast, but searching, inserting, and deleting, it's like it's potentially slow and costly, and also So array are a powerful tool, but likely in any tool they are best used when the problem fits. If you need fast direct access, array science. If you need frequent insert or delete, you will want to consider other data structure like linked list, hash table, or dynamic arrays like array list in Java or list in Python. So these two, this segment is all about. So I read out two things like two 20-minute So this is my approach. I just I watch, then I read out 20 minutes. So if you do same way, I think you can learn faster. So this video is all about. So thank you so much.